Start of a new season, we're attacking the Champions League again. We've had some very interesting transfer news. A player who I would describe as a club legend has left the club for a whopping transfer fee. Roll the intro. Hello and welcome back to the NK Maribor save. I am Coach Leftfoot and it's a pleasure to have you with me. We're in the Champions League again. We're going to smash it. We're going to win it. And I've listened to your comments that you left. Well, I haven't listened to them. I've read your comments that you left below on the last video. And it's back. The 4-3-1-2 is back. This is what we're going with this season. This isn't our strongest 11, by the way. This is just who we played in the last round. So in the last game. So we'll get rid of that. But first off, we'll go through competitions. We are bossing the league again. Played 9, won 9. Goal difference of plus 27 points. That's a piece of piss. Champions League, we've got drawn with Benfica, Milan and Loreint. And that is a winnable group. Very different to what we had last year. And I'm confident of progressing through that rather easily. In the Cup, we got Beltoninci, who are a 3rd division team. Yeah, 3rd division team, so we should smash them. And we won the Super Polka yet again. We're only going to do one game today because we've got to go through the transfers and everything. And there is, oh boy, there is some transfer news. So on to the transfer news, and you'll see we've not spent very much, but by gum, we've got a lot in. By gum, that's a phrase not used very often. 86 million of money recouped. 30 million of that is for Juan Tapia. And I didn't really want to sell him. I really didn't want to sell him, but Barcelona made a bid of something like 15 million. I said no. He moaned. I tried to give him a new contract. He said no. Barcelona came in again with a bid of about 25, I think it was. I said no. He moaned. The whole squad moaned. And then they came with a bid of 30. Flat out cash straight off the bat. Well, actually, they came with a bid of about 20 and then loads of different clauses. And I went, right, give me 40. They said they'd give 25. I said, give me 35. They said they'd give 29 or 28. I said, give me 30. They said yes. So it's 30 straight out of the bat. It's what he deserves. He is brilliant. Look at that wage. 220 grand. So that's what it would have cost me. And I can't give that to players. So he has gone to Barcelona. And he will be missed. But I think we've got adequate replacements for him now. Other big transfers out. Mateo Loreint has left the club. He had his testimonial. He was getting on. He wasn't really getting game time for us. Only 9 games last year. We've sold him for 4.1 million. And to be honest, I think we've sold him at the right time. So he has gone as well. Luis Ricardo went 25 million. They paid his release fee at Show Monteblad. They paid his release fee and got rid of him. We made 5 million in one season for a person that didn't really play for us. His non-EU-ness really got in the way. So Luis Ricardo has gone for 25 million. Conception moved for 6 million to Al Halazi in Saudi Arabia. We made profit on him. Again, didn't really play that well when he played for us. If you think about the average rating stats that our strikers normally get, that isn't a very good performance. 3 goals in 17 appearances. I don't care how many of them were subs. That's not very good. But he's doing well in Saudi Arabia at the moment. They'll probably be able to sell him for a little bit of a profit as well. Other than that, other players out. Philip Thornston joined Nacional on loan for 4.8. That was an unbelievable good bit of business. Alvarez has gone to Brentford for 2.2 million. As you can see, we've cleared a lot of the deadwood out. John Velez has also gone to Soch Montpellier for 8.5 million. Again, didn't impress for us whenever he played. 8 games, no goals, 6.57. Then went on loan to Bologna and did slightly better, but not that much better. So he's also gone as well. We've gone through Loreint, we've done Tapia, and then the rest of them are loan transfers out, which have got us a bit of money. Oh, no, they're not. Milan Arsic has gone. Yeah, I sold him to Domzale. I put him on the transfer list. He wasn't playing, wasn't getting enough game time for us. And lots of clubs wanted him, but I sold him for a knockdown price to someone else in Slovenia. So to hopefully give them a bit of a boost. And Domzale, we'll get onto them in a minute because they appear to be doing quite well at the moment. The only other real main loan one who I can't find at the moment is, there he is, Peter Rudenej, again, another player that I bought in to boost our Slovenian numbers. He did all right, actually. He wasn't too bad, but he was taking up space, and I've got no reason for sentimentality at this point of view. So he has gone, and they have to buy him for 7 million. So we're only actually losing out 0.25 of a million. I'm happy with that. Really good for it. Now, on to the exciting bit, on to the ins. Socrates Calejo, in from Braga, gone on loan to MK Domzale. Really good looking youngster. Potential to be really good, a key player for the team. Great physical stats. Jumping reach. He's a centre midfielder. He's a playmaker. He's a bit like a Portuguese Xavi, I guess. We're looking to increase these technicals and mental stats over the years, but I think he's going to be wonderful for Maribor in the future. Juan Jose Regazzoni has joined, 21-year-old Argentinian goalkeeper. He has a second nationality of Italian, so it won't count to any of our foreign national stuff. Good backup for Vigilante, who I haven't quite managed to replace yet, but he is in decent stats, a good backup guy, £500 a week. You can't really argue. He's in the van. Javier Margelli joins from Barcelona, a centre midfielder. Look at those stats, and to think we only got him for 6.25 million. He will have an important part to play this year. Looks very good. Looks like the sort of player that I want running the centre midfield in our team. Good passing, good first touch, good decisions, good composure, teamwork, vision, work rate, positioning, all brilliant. Is really set up well to dictate us and our play and how we want to do it. Next up, Chris Williams, young centre-back, 21-year-old English guy from Man United. They released him, didn't give him a new contract. He's joined us. Probably a season in the B team. We'll see how he progresses and then either sell him on for profit or promote him to the first team. And then we get to the left-backs that are replacing Juan Tapia. So Edin Vukovic is the main guy. This is our new starting left-back. He's 30, so he's slightly older than how I normally buy my players, but his stats are really, really good. Great tackling, great marking, good concentration, decisions, determination, work rate, teamwork, positioning. All his physicals are still really good for a 30-year-old. We bought him in for 6.5 million. He's been really good so far for us, and he's our starting left back. Backing him up is Sven Kremer, but we've sent him out on loan to Vina Neustadt. He comes in for 1.1 million, and I think he's going to be really good. If we can get him the right sort of tutoring to get some of these technicals up, I think this guy could be a really good backup. If it doesn't work out, we'll flog him off again, because we do have other left backs at the club as well. It leaves our squad looking something like this, if I show absolutely everybody. 3 goalkeepers are Vigilante, Pella is still there, and Regazzoni, the new guy. Right back choices is still Professor Xavier and Hamza. Then left back choices, we have Lekic and Vukovic are our main ones, with Sam Leffert still somehow at the club. He's literally only there because he's my son, because he's really, really bad. Centre-back options is Lunazir, Jurakovic, Kovic and Djordjevic. Vukovic can play there if we need him to, but I think that's enough. 4 centre-backs for 2 positions should be enough. In the centre midfield, we're going to have the players such as Martinez, Valentin, Impio, Margelli, Ajazi, Dadui, Blazic. They can all play in that position. The attacking midfield role, the main real player is going to be Hodzic. Dadui might play up in that position. And then up front, for 2 positions, we have 5 players, which is Markov, Kardos, Hamsbergovic, Roche and Zagar. And we have got what I feel is quite a well-balanced team. If we can get a world-class centre-back in, or a world-class goalkeeper, that's what we're looking for in the winter window when it happens. But we'll get rid of all the people that can't play at the moment. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was Domzale, who actually haven't started the season very well thus far. But if we look at this, so they didn't qualify in the Champions League Best Place playoff, but they've absolutely smashed the Europa League playoff. They beat Bati Borisov 3-0 and then 4-0 away, which put them in a great position. So they're now into the group stages where they've been drawn with Shakhtar, PAOK, who actually stopped them getting through to the Champions League, and Mönchengladbach. So they could have a potential chance of getting out. And if we look at last year's group, in Europa League Group F, if we can go back and look at it, I'm not too sure. Can we do that? Can we look at... This must be... No, this is this year's group. We'll have to go through their schedule. But so last year, in the group stage, they lost... They beat AEK. They drew with Real Sociedad. and I swear they drew with AEK again, and beat Sparta Prague. So they actually got, like, they're helping now towards our coefficient as they're starting to get better and win games. And if we look at their history, they're actually spending money. Okay, 3.75 million of that, or 5.75 million potentially, was to us for a knockdown price for a player, but they're starting to spend a little bit more money on other players. And it's the same with Olimpia Ljubljana as well. If we go into transfer history, they are starting to spend a bit more money on players. They still prefer to buy just Slovenian players, but they are spending that money, which is really good for the league, and that's what we need to happen. And to be honest, it's slowly getting there as a save. It has really been slow and steady, but it is getting there. But for now, we're going to play the first game of our Champions League group, and it's against FC Loreint, who are the current Europa League holders. So that's what we're going to do. So the lineup going into this game is Vigilante in goal, Xavier, Kovac, Sudakovic and Vukovic at the back four, Sainz, Martinez and Dudui in the midfield three, Hodzic sits behind Roche and Cardos. On the bench we have Pella, Luna, Valentin, Hamsbergovic, Lekic, Maragli and Blasi. We get the game underway in our purple kit, kicking from right to left. We're going attacking from the off to try and get a couple of goals if we can early doors and put Loreint really under pressure. But we can't take them lightly because they are the current Europa League holders and we've got to see how it goes. So Roche is in really good form at the moment in the league. He's scored something like 7 in 8 I think it is, or 9 in 7. Something like that. But this half is ticking down and not much is happening. We're not creating a lot. Loreint aren't creating anything. We've hit the woodwork once, although it obviously wasn't deemed good enough to be a highlight, which doesn't really make sense. But we're into half time without anything really happening. We're going to assertively say let's do it for the fans, and then we'll passionately tell people that I know, you know, got faith and all that. That one we always normally use. So we're going to keep the tactics the same. Cardos isn't having a brilliant game. We'll have to see what happens with that, as Xavier makes a good tackle early on in the second half. But let's see if we need to actually try and get something out of this. Kovac wins the header. Dudui into Cardos. Around the corner. Roche is in. Shoots straight at Peralta. It's a good save. Really should be finishing that from there, though. And we need him to come into his own this season, really, Roche, because we spent a lot of money on him. And in the league he is performing. We need him to perform in Europe as well. So I think we're going to make some subs in a minute, because Cardos and Dudui are both playing poorly. As Roche tries to get in, Otamendi clears. Kovac wins the header. Xavier to Hodzic. Sainz is in and he shoots, fires it into the corner. That is what we want to see. Second goal of the season for Ivan Sainz. That is a really good finish. So Xavier picked it up. Looked ball through to Hodzic. He dinked a lovely little ball through to Sainz. He's the centre midfielder on attack, making that late run into the box. That's what I like about this tactic. It does seem to work quite well in those senses. And we are still limiting Loreint as well. Xavier to Roche. Puts a ball in. Cardos is there. I was about to take him off, but he's just scored. It looked like a winning off the underside of the bar. 2-0 up with an hour gone. We are playing quite well at the moment. We're really restricting Loreint at the back. With Roche just about keeps it in and puts a cross in. Cardos is there. Heads it in off the underside of the bar. And makes it 2-0, but there is a kick-off straight from the highlight. So Martinez wins the header though. Hodzic looking to put Cardos in again, but he's picked it up after a bit of pinball. And Vukovic will have a bit of time. Can he pick a cross out? He can't. He just gets robbed. And they've gone to a 4-3-3, which can sometimes cause us trouble. As Fagundes looks to cross, Sainz picks it up. Gosh, can we counter? He's looking for Cardos, but it's a poor pass, to be honest. And Fagundes is released again. Cross in. Dudakovic wins the header. It's beaten in the air that time, but it goes just dribbling past the post. So we're going to mix this up. We're going to come down to a standard formation. We're not going to look for the overlap anymore. And I'm also, once those changes are made, we're going to jump into the tactics and take these guys. They're just going to become fullbacks on support. In fact, you're going to become fullback on defend, because that's what you want to do. And that's what we're going to look at the moment. Dudui's not having a very good game, which is quite rare for him. We're going to bring on Maragli in that position and go from there and see if that will be enough, you know, just to keep restricting them from chances. We don't have to push too many men forward anymore. They have made quite a lot of changes. So I'm just going to pop into the opposition instructions. He reckons that's what we do. I still want to tightly mark Carenza because he's the one that scores all their goals. Do I want to tightly mark him actually? Because he's not playing in the centre. I don't. I want to tightly mark the striker that's in the centre of the three. And we'll close him down and we'll absolutely nail him when he gets the ball. That sounds fair, doesn't it? As we get back underway and there's 15 minutes to go, Santos into Almeida. Martinez gets a clearance. Roche flicks it on. It's a race and Cardos is beaten to it by Cisse. But Sainz gets it back. Cardos. There is a ball through to Roche and he's through on goal. He shoots Peralta with a good save. And I might take Roche off because his form in front of goal hasn't been very good today. He's set up an assist. He's on a good, decent rating as it's headed clear. Jurakovic picks it up to Hodzic. Maragli on the edge. Martinez shoots from range. Cardos is there. Puts the rebound in. 3-0 with 10 minutes to go. We should be pretty safe now. So let's have a look. Who else can we bring on? We've got I'm going to take... Although Roche is on a 7.3. He's playing better than Carlos, who scored 2 goals. I think I'll just leave it, actually. There's 10 minutes to go. We've got another highlight straight from kickoff. Love a highlight kickoff highlight. Bloody hell. Sainz, Roche to Maragli. Couldn't find Cardos. Kovac wins the header. Sainz picks it up again. And notice how Xavier didn't push on at all there, which is much better. Keep that solidity at the back. We've got a few knackered players out there, but we'll leave it as it is. And there's the full-time whistle. We start this Champions League campaign with a good 3-0 win. And I'm very happy with the football we played. That's a very good performance. We just need to keep this up and then we'll definitely make sure we are through in this competition. As my rabbit starts to have a drink. And if you were on the stream with me the other day, you would have seen my rabbits as they made their internet debut, as it were. We'll send the assistant that. We get a lot of money. Cardos scored 2 goals. Gets a very good rating. Superb in front of goal. Right, looking at the schedule, that's a lot of green, isn't it? That's a good lot of green. Oh, we had a good little tour of England as well, which was good fun. Right, I'll probably play the Milan. Because I want to push through this, I'll probably do Milan, Benfica, and Benfica all offline, and we'll come back for Loreint and Milan again because I really want to get this series going until we bloody win the Champions League. So we'll leave it there, I think, for now. But thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want to check me out on Twitch, it's just down below me, right down there now. Twitch.tv/cultured_left_foot. You can tweet me at culturedf. And if you want to donate, you can donate on Patreon at culturedleftfoot, all one word, on the Patreon website. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for being here for the first start of FC Loreint. Let me know what you think about the transfers. And I shall see you for the next game against FC Loreint. But for now, I'm out. Cheers.